Hello folks, Nomad here, and an extra special welcome on board my 40-foot sailboat. Now, I love reading your comments, questions and feedback, and one of the questions that I had is, what is it I do for power and how do I run my gaming rig? So I'll show you the 3 ways that I actually power the boat, and then you'll have a bit more of an understanding of where and how I generate the power, and then I'll show you my gaming rig. So one of the ways that I make power is via solar. So this is part of my off-grid setup. So this one is a removable one, so it's not bolted down in any way. And I do have to put it away when I go sailing. But basically the sun goes up from this way, over there, and then down there. So this is the optimum place while the boat's this way around. Now I have a fixed panel. So this one is a Renogy 170 watt one, just like this one. And with this, I've put it on hinges so I can move. Now this is static and held down. And then I have another 175 watt panel, which is a flexible panel by SunPower. So there we go. Now the solar is one aspect of the setup. So generally what I do when I'm here is I'll go off and do things during the day, and then hopefully the solar will charge the batteries enough for me to use overnight. That isn't always the case, especially in the winter months. The main on-grid way is this. So this is kind of a pay-as-you-go meter, and it basically plugs into the boat here and it keeps the batteries charged. So in the winter and when it's not sunny, I can charge it that way. The third way to charge the batteries is via the engine. So as I run the engine, it will charge the starter battery first, and then it will start charging the house bank. Now I have 5 batteries in total. Now they have a starter battery, and then the 4 house bank ones will have a Hankook ones, which are 130 amp each, which makes 520 amps in total, and I can use half the capacity on that. So my kind of next move to like the power management is going to be one of those like rechargeable Blue Yeti batteries or a Jackery. Now that's mostly because of my very mobile lifestyle. So I can use it in say the car when I'm car camping, or when I'm going when I do actually get the van. Now at the heart of the setup, I went with a gaming laptop which has a 17-inch screen. It is high spec and it does use a lot of power. Now, connected to it for the internet, I've got a mobile phone that's got 5G on, and it works perfectly fine. So I'm not really looking to get Starlink anytime soon or anything like that, because it just works. I also brought a microphone recently, so hopefully I can get better sound quality in upcoming videos for you. And then of course a gaming mouse. Now most of my games is mouse and keyboard setup, but I do have an Xbox controller if I'm going to be playing, say, FIFA or racing games, but I do prefer the first-person shooters. Now, I do use one of these power bricks. Now, it basically, like, this whole setup pretty much goes in my tech bag and lives with me. Now, the reason why I went with one of these is because it's got multiple USBs, so if I'm staying in hotels and they don't have enough power requirements for me, then it's no problem. Of course, if you're going into coffee shops and you're charging multiple devices, works great. And also my former lady friend had she was European, so they've got different plugs, but this one you can put the European 2 pins in, so that worked great for us. Now it's currently set up in the daytime kind of solar, so let me show you that. Now what I mean by the solar setup is everything is running from the inverter right now. Now I don't have the fridge on, I don't have any lights on, it's just the gaming laptop connected to the mobile phone and microphone on there. Now there's a couple of ways I can monitor the battery level. One is via the Victron Connect app, which works really well, and the second one is by the battery monitor on here. Now this is what the battery monitor looks like. Now I can cycle through and see what both the starter and the house bank is running, and then how much I'm taking in along with the watts and amps. Above it is the battery charger, so if there's not enough sunlight I can switch this over, then that will start charging from the shore power. Now I converted one of the back cabins into kind of like a mechanic's room, but over here this is how the kind of controller's set up. Now all the parts that I've used and the gaming bits are on the links in the description below. Now I did pick this inverter specifically so I can run the coffee machine in the future when I've upgraded to lithium batteries. And if we go back to the solar chargers, so one of them is running the 2 rigid deck panels, and then the other one is for the solar panel, the flexible one that I've labelled on the top there. Then I've labelled all the cables using pen. There we go. Now this is to turn off the inverter because they run a ghost load, so if I'm not using the inverter I can switch that off using this. Okay, just to give you a little bit of an idea of how much the gaming laptop uses. Now you can see hopefully on the screen there, so it is actually sunny and it's been sunny throughout the day and I've been out, so the batteries have managed to reach 100%. So the deck panel is the 2 Renogy panels combined, which is here, and you've got the flexible panel here which is just putting in 16 watts. So the deck panel almost 150, so that's half of its capacity rating. Now the only loads that I really have on is literally the laptop and my power bank. So what I do is I tend to use this power bank and charge this throughout the day, and then I'll use this to charge the phone at night when I don't have solar. Now the deck panels are wired in together, the Renogy ones, and they're taking in around 150 watts, and the flexible panel is taking in about 17 watts. Now that's because the sun is over in this direction right now, which is where that main panel is, so it's hitting the one on the side. Now I'm actually putting in around 1 or 2 amps, so to give you that in context, 2 amps is around charging a mobile phone, is my understanding anyway. Yeah, here's a bit of a closer look. Hopefully you can kind of make it all out there. So this is the Victron app, so it works really well. So my Renogy panels, which are wired together, is the deck panel, so that's what I've labelled it as. And then you've got the flexible panel, which is that sun-powered one. That's my inverter, so you can see the load out. And then you've got the battery monitor there. So at the moment I'm actually burning off about 3.5–4 amps right now, and the inverter's putting through 169 watts. So when I'm in gaming mode on the laptop, it will work a lot harder and it will use a lot more energy. And this game is called Insurgency, by the way. It's very good. Alright, so here we go. We've got the setup. So we've got these have 2 LEDs in them, and I've got 6 basically in total on at the moment. The game hasn't loaded. I've just about to load it up, but I'm running the gaming laptop at the moment with the microphone plugged in, so it is powering that, and the phone on charge, and I'm losing 7 amps right now. We'll load up the game. Okay, so if you can't see the bottom of the screen, so it's running between 12.5 to 15 amps. So that has got my phone itself on the wireless charger, the microphone plugged into the laptop, so it's drawing power from the laptop there, and the 6 little LED lights are on, and that is it. Now my current solar setup isn't sufficient for my usage, especially during the kind of half of the year where it's like autumn time or winter time, so it's really not enough for what I use it for. So I would like to get a solar arch and use bifacial solar panels on it. So what they are is they absorb light from both the top and the bottom, so you get the reflection underneath from things like the white surface of the hull and the water to give it an extra boost, especially on the lower light conditions. I'd also like to upgrade to lithium batteries, so they can charge quicker, and you can deplete them a lot more than the regular batteries. So the ones that I have now, I can only use half their capacity before you start damaging them, whereas the lithium ones, my understanding is you can run them right down. Now the interesting thing about my solar charger is you can actually program it to have your boiler heat up when it reaches 100% on the batteries. So every time you get enough solar and it's 100%, any excess power would be put into the hot water. Now I'd also like to change the oven out for a newer one, but also include induction hob surfaces. Now the idea behind all this is kind of like investments for now, so later on when I am going off seasonal cruising, to have minimum reliance on others and not having to go off to go and find things like propane. I mean, even here in the UK, sometimes I spent half a day trying to find butane tanks because they're just not as widely available as you think that they are. I mean, you see them around in the gas stations and stuff, but a lot of them are empty. So now, I did hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube the other day, so thank you very much if you're one of those lovely people. I do have some planned videos coming up, so one of them is how I moor up the boat single-handedly, so I don't have a bow thruster or anything like that, so that's like a little propeller underneath the boat that helps you move sideways. I also need to change the brakes on the car. I'm going to do another oil change as well, so if you come from the car side of that, or if you're interested in the kind of fixing stuff videos, then feel free to like and subscribe and everything for that. But as always, just let me know what you'd like to see, and I'll hopefully be able to keep you entertained and informed and everything. I'm also working on a few other videos as well, which is kind of going through at the moment. So but yeah, thanks for watching, and thanks for being fans.